multiple individuals who have covered Donald Trump, worked with him closely through a journalistic capacity for the last several decades. Two of them have come out in just the last few days to talk about Donald Trump's cognitive decline. Now, Trump spent a good amount of time just last week talking about how cognitively sound he is. His brain is working at full capacity. He ain't slowing down. His age isn't catching up with him. Everything's great because, as he said, he was able to identify the difference between a giraffe and a whale. And so, yeah, that means everything's cool. Well, let's start with what Jonathan Lemire had to say. He said, and he said this on MSNBC on Friday, "When I was a Metro reporter with the New York Daily News, we covered Trump from time to time 15, 20 years ago. It's very clear he's not the same guy he was then, and that post about presidential immunity also had the great Trump tell of this era, which is when he goes to all caps. When he goes to all caps, and it is an all caps screed, particularly about his legal predicaments, you know it's a window into how upset and anxious he is." And that was the other night where he was posting overnight repeatedly about E. Jean Carroll and other, quote, witch hunts. And then yesterday morning went so far as to say this, needing full immunity for even events that cross the line. This is something that feels like not only, of course, a scary projection of what could come in a second Trump term, where he would say, I could do whatever I want and can't be prosecuted, but it's the cognitive decline. Now I'm going to read you what the other one said. This is from Tim O'Brien, who wrote a book many, many years ago, almost 20 years ago, called Trump Nation. He spent a lot of time with Donald Trump, traveled with him, on his jet, all of that. And here's what Mr. O'Brien had to say. "I flew around with him in his plane and walked his golf courses with him 20 years ago, not very cognitively together then, much less cognitively better now." So we get two men who spent years, literally years, working with Donald Trump, interviewing Donald Trump, getting to know him during these, more intimate moments, not like that, but you know what I mean. And they're telling us yeah, even if he wasn't great then, there's definitely something different and something clearly wrong now. But it is important to point something out about what both of these men are talking about. Neither of these men is suggesting that there is necessarily something medically wrong with Donald Trump. They're not saying that he's suffering from dementia or that it's Alzheimer's or anything like that. What they are talking about is his mental capacity that has clearly diminished due to the stress that he has brought upon himself. He's having a breakdown. That's where Lemire, talking about the all caps rants that Donald Trump puts on Truth Social, he's scared, he's anxious, he's panicked. And when people are in those positions, they're not thinking clearly. They're not, as you would say, in their right mind. And after prolonged periods, because let's not forget, Donald Trump's been dealing with this, ever since he left office, even before he left office, when he was having the breakdowns about losing the 2020 election. So this has been going on for over 3 years. 3 years. Donald Trump has been in a constant state of anger, anxiety, panic. All of that takes its toll. When you live in those constant states for years on end, as Donald Trump has, it will impair your brain's ability. And that is what's happened to Donald Trump. He's done this to himself, on top of, as the mental health experts say, his narcissistic personality disorder. They're not suggesting that there's something medically wrong, but they are saying the stress has gotten to him and his brain can no longer function properly because he has just destroyed it from the inside out. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.